back, everyone, to another daily Marvel Snap video. I'm GemmachineEsq. I wanted to thank you guys so much for liking and subscribing. We're getting back to where we were before because you guys are watching the video and hitting the like button. I think we got 9 likes in the last video, which is absolutely amazing for my videos. You guys are killing it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Please continue to like and subscribe and comment. It really does help the video. All of the, whenever someone likes it or comments or anything like that or subscribes, it spreads it to like one more person who can then see it. And that's the way the YouTube channel grows. So you guys are really helping me grow. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today we're playing Cerebro 2. It's a really fun deck. It was actually requested that I be played by a viewer. He wanted to watch me play an M'Baku deck. I told him M'Baku is really good in Cerebro 2. So we're showing this as an example. So I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure you stay tuned to the end because I describe what cards you can mix and match, which cards can be taken out and which ones can't. And we go over the games that I played. So stay tuned till then. As always, keep snapping. And welcome back, everyone. I'm not going to do the normal full intro because I should have done it in the intro to this intro. But today we are, in fact, playing Cerebro 2, like hopefully I said in the video. It is a deck that revolves around the card Cerebro right here. Cerebro, if you don't know, you can't see it because it cuts it off, but Cerebro adds 2 power to the highest power unit you have on the field. You can copy that with Mystique, and of course adding Blue Marvel. So you can add a total of 2, 4, 5 power to all your cards. Since you're starting at 2, that means all of your cards can get to 7 if you do the optimal connection, which is Cerebro into Mystique and Blue Marvel. However, some of the problems with this deck are if your cards get buffed in any way, like if the opponent has a Red Skull, or if your cards get hit anyway, like in a Scorpion, it then breaks the Cerebro chain, which can be a problem, but you can play around it. We're using Daredevil and Hobgoblin as a way to get extra power, Storm as a way to shut the location off. It's very hard for them to get as much power as we can early. Of course, Brood and Mr. Sinister are easy ways to fill the board, allowing for a bigger end of the game. Power push. So that is the general goal of this deck, and we hope to show you some combos as we get into game. Let's see. Tell me what you think of the new layout. I think it looks pretty good. Ooh, I can see, though, that one thing is missing, which is the snap boxes. Bam. And they're back now. And now that they are here, we can cut over here. Cerebro 2, we're at 84 now. We're making our way to Galactic. Mama Gem Machine's in the background. Daily Bugle, yeah, it doesn't help us. We can't really use the Atuma. We can use the M'Baku, though. Get out there, M'Baku. Show us what you're worth. M'Baku's a fun card in this deck. This deck was actually requested by a viewer. Atlantis is fine, because we'll never have just one card in a location. I think I'm actually going to Daredevil, though, so I can see what they're playing. M'Baku is really good in this deck, because if you don't draw into him, Lemuria is actually awful for us. We're going to play Storm there, which isn't, like, optimal, because it's going to give him an extra turn to play here, but that's fine. We'll drop Mr. Sinister probably in there next. I don't think we'll need more power than that, and we'll know if we need it anyway. So we'll go ahead and Scorpion now.
Wind, aid my hand.
And now we have to start thinking about getting our Cerebro on the field. And I think I'm going to put it in the flooding location so it can't be Enchantress, or it's very likely it can't be Enchantress. Ooh. So he can't play here anymore unless he plays Armor, right? Because Atuma will die. But I already beat this with my Cerebro, so I don't need to play here anymore. But I think I might anyway, because I drew into Brood. He plays a Dr. Octopus. Who reveals first? So I'm going to go ahead and snap. And I'm going to play Cerebro over here. I'm kind of hoping he pulls into my Mystique. Since Cerebro is the last thing I played, what will happen? Ooh, he does play into Mystique, so... Oh, but no, since he went first, it doesn't count. That's totally fine, though. I still feel very comfortable in this game. The Mr. Fantastic is going to give me power over there, and now I'm going to buff all my cards. Now I'm winning on the right and the left, and soon to be winning mid. So we're just going to play that, and let's see what Lambai has. We're going to fill the entire board, and that's what this deck is really, really good at doing. If he has something like Red Skull, which this deck kind of looks like it may run, it could mess me up, but outside of that, I feel pretty strong. If he plays a card in Atlantis, this is going to go down by 5 power, so he has to replace that power. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to win, but I don't see it. Maybe if he has a Mr. Fantastic too, he could tie here. But he ends up just retreating. Victory. Awesome. It's such a good deck, and it's such a fun deck. That was a really good game 1, actually. And did you see how we snapped early? We didn't wait until we had already won the game to snap, and that's a very important lesson. If you want to climb. That's how I got to Infinite last season. Is you have to know when to snap. There's no point in snapping when you're only going to win 1 cube. Right? It doesn't do anything. So snap before you make your big play. Even if there's more risk to it, you can always leave. Daredevil doesn't have as much power now, and X-Mansion really sucks, so we're really going to hope to draw a Storm here. Oh, and we do. So that's awesome. We're going to get rid of the X-Mansion. The reason X-Mansion sucks is if it gives us something with more than 2 power, it breaks our Cerebro.
Aid my hand.
So we're just going to go ahead and break that. And we will go ahead and... do we fill it? I'm not going to fill it. I'm going to play Iceman to the right. Oh, he plays a Dracula, so that could get big enough in theory. We'll get to see what he does here. Now, I draw Mystique, which makes my last turn a little iffy, because this is clearly a discard lockjaw deck, so I kind of want to disrupt it by playing Hobgoblin. Oh, or maybe not. Thor. Why would he play Thor there? Well, I don't know what his deck is anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play Hobgoblin. He's not going to be able to play any more cards in here, so whatever he plays is what he's going to get. His play... Ooh. That's actually not the worst for me, though, if I'm being honest. Now, the weird thing about this is he's playing Thor, but now Thor's in his deck, and so is Mjolnir, so... Oh, God. Nightcrawler coming back out is brutal. Because now we can still play here. And it's Mr. Sinister. If I play that, I can't play anything, right? This adds 4 power here, so I technically win. Yeah, we just retreat from that game. Not drawing... We didn't draw Cerebro, which we kind of needed. You don't need Cerebro to win, but the Nightcrawler coming back in there is why we lost. I'll keep that game in there. I don't want to keep too many losses in, but we'll keep that game in there. Just kind of a good idea of when to retreat with this deck. I think it's very important to show off when to retreat as well. And this is a fairly good hand, however... Not great that we draw Mbaku. We don't like to draw that card. It's okay to play to Baxter Building immediately because, I mean, all my cards are going to be 2 power, so it doesn't really matter what I play there. So we'll go ahead and play Scorpion, and then I'll play Mr. Sinister. And like I said, it really is okay to fill something early. Oh, that's kind of bad for us, though. Okay. So we filled that location. I'm just going to go ahead and play Daredevil just to see what his play is. On turn 5, I'm going to play Cerebro. That is very interesting. Oh, is he, he's gonna try to Galactus, isn't he? This is a Galactus deck. Brood was the best draw in the game. How can he play that? Oh, because of, I'm gonna snap. Right. So he thinks he's gonna play Galactus here and try to win. Right, that's my read. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna send my Hobgoblin over so Galactus doesn't proc. And that's my read here. Yep, it's a Galactus. So we just had the read and we had the play. If I didn't have Hobgoblin, I'd retreat there. That's an easy 4 cubes. Kind of awesome. Fuck you, Galactus. Oh, alright, what's that? Is that game 3 already? My god. By the way, how do you guys like the tracker? I really, really like it. I think it was amazing. UntapGG did a great job. I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm saying that because I really like it. Korg. So, he has a Korg. Oh, that's cool. It shows what's added to the deck as well. We don't have a 6 cost, so I do think we probably get rid of that with Storm. But because we're getting rid of it, I'm gonna... Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, it's just a... What's it called deck? It's just a Darkhawk deck. Okay. And we force him to retreat with a snap. The snap was really good for us, making Mystique and Cerebro free. Now, it does make them 3 cost, which is a problem, but he didn't know that, right? So we kind of intimidated him with a snap. Most people hate the peak. It was a fairly good read. It was fairly good for me. I had an assumption it was fairly bad for him. So we went ahead with it. Let's try to get into our 5th and final game here. In Carmartage, we have... pretty much nothing. Well, we have Iceman, actually. So Iceman's okay into Carmartage, but realistically, Carmartage isn't great for us. Hopefully that Iceman did something good there. We do have our Cerebro into Mystique combo, which is really, really good. One thing to keep in mind is we can't Hobgoblin here, because if you Hobgoblin in Carmartage, it comes back because it activates twice. So you have to think about that. Wakanda's pretty good because we have M'Baku. So I think I'm gonna go... Oh, I could have played Scorpion in Carmartage. That was just a really bad play. Okay, so this might be another Galactus. And if it is, he can play Galactus this turn. Which is obviously pretty bad. I don't think it's Galactus if he's playing there. Okay. Oh, that's fine. It's a shame Mystique came up. Well, actually, Mystique still has something to copy, so that's okay. And then Cerebro. It could still be Galactus. Oh, I have nothing in my hand. We're really looking to draw a Goblin here, but it's not. We'll go ahead and play Brood. If I were to guess, he would Galactus here. Oh, and he gives us some cards. Alright, so here comes the question is it Galactus? If it's Galactus, I just win. So I don't think it is. Victory. And I clearly had the Road to Victory there. The Road to Victory was playing Blue Marvel here. It buffs everything by this lane by 4, this lane by 4. The reason it buffs... Actually, it buffs this lane by 3, 7. Because Blue Marvel gets the buff here and then everything goes up. So it's actually a huge play. I don't think he can win here. If he had if my read was Galactus, I would Hobgoblin. And I think Hobgoblin wins anyway, so I think no matter what, I probably win this. And that's going to be the 5th and final game. And guys, we had 1 loss in 5 games, so that really shows you the power of the deck. We went up, what's that, 10 cubes in 5 games, so that's an average of 2 cubes a game, which is actually pretty good. I know it doesn't sound great, but average cube games are actually generally a little bit lower than that. This deck is very good. One way I wanted to start ending videos really quickly, though, first of all, is saying that you guys have been killing it on likes and subscribes, and I do appreciate it, and I do take notice which videos do better. Our last video got 5 likes, so thank you, thank you, thank you. That's actually a pretty good amount for my videos. Recently, my videos have been in like 30 to 70 range recently. They were in like 200 to 500 before. But then I took like 2 weeks off because of COVID and my numbers crashed. Of course they did. No one likes a YouTuber who's not YouTubing. But they're coming back up slowly, so I really do appreciate it, guys. So first of all, thank you. All the comments and likes and comments really do go far in the channel. So I always like to thank you guys for it. You guys are the ones who push the channel to other people. It's actually not me, it's you guys. Hopefully it's in, because you guys like the content, but you guys are really the pushers and movers of the channel, so thank you. But one thing I wanted to start doing is ending channels with the guides saying, if you don't have some of these cards, how can you replace them, right? So every card in here is 2 power, so that is the essential thing. The pool 3 cards in this deck are Mystique, Brood, is Hobgoblin pool 3? No, it's not. It's pool 2. Cerebro, Daredevil, and Baku is technically pool 4. Okay, so those are the cards that probably not everyone has in some combination. So, which cards are irreplaceable? 1, Brood. If you don't have Brood, you can't play this deck. I am sorry. Well, you can. It's just, this deck right now is probably like B+, maybe A-. If you don't have Brood, it probably goes to B-, C+. So that's like the grade I would give the deck as far as how it feels to play to me. Obviously, you need Cerebro. You cannot play this deck without Cerebro. It doesn't work, then you just have a bunch of 2 cards. Mystique brings this from, like I said, an A. If you don't have Mystique, it brings it from like an A-, B+, probably down to a low B. Something like that is kind of a way to think of it. You probably shouldn't be playing this without Mystique. So Cerebro, Mystique, and Brood are the necessities. Everything else, you don't really need, like, you don't need Daredevil, but Daredevil really makes Hobgoblin a lot stronger, right? Obviously, you don't need a Baku. You need... which brings me to the next point of, if you're going to replace any of these cards, what do you replace them with? That part's very, very easy in this deck. You just go into your card collection, you search by power, and you go to 2, and you pick... what's going on? Power? Yeah. And you just pick your favorite one, and it really doesn't matter, right? You can't play cards that get stronger. So, like, you can't play Carnage, because Carnage, if he kills anything, will become more than 2. And he won't get, or he'll take the Cerebro buff from everything. You probably don't want to play Electro, because Electro lets you only play 1 card per turn, and you really want to be flooding the board with this. But things like Goose, very, very strong. Things like, you can play Hazmat, I've seen. Invisible Woman hides your Cerebro and Mystique, so not bad there. Korg's very good in this. I've seen Lockjaw versions of this deck. You wouldn't want to play Medusa, but you can play Nightcrawler. Is actually very, very good in this deck. You can't play Nakia or Okoye because they buff things. You can't play Punisher. Quicksilver's not bad. I've seen plenty of that. But you get the idea. You want to go out and find your favorite 2 power cards. Yondu's not terrible because he gives you a little bit of destruction. And that's how you replace your cards. Now, I will say you're trying to fill the board because the highest power card you're going to be able to get, even if you have Cerebro, Mystique, and Blue Marvel, is 7. That's the highest power card. So you want 3 to 4 in every location, and that's you win by going wide like that. So that is why Mr. Sinister and Brood are pretty pivotal in this deck. And those are the cards that you probably shouldn't be playing this deck without. But everything else is replaceable. Go out there and enjoy the deck. As always, keep snapping.